What is up, guys? Welcome to part 17 of our WordPress for Beginners tutorial series. The day has come. Today, in this video, we're actually going to move this site to a live server so we can go through the rest of the testing on the emails and all that stuff. And the way we can do that, we're going to start, in the last video I said we might work a little more on the site, but I don't know if I want to do that in this tutorial. I know I'm going to have lots of series about building different kinds of sites, and so at the moment I just want to show you kind of how to put it together, how to get it to a server, how to get it actually live so people can see it from a local computer from scratch. So what we're going to do, I'm going to quickly go over a little drawing here like I did in the beginning. So for people who are not familiar, let me just do a very simple breakdown of how this works. So we have your local host right now, and this is where your site is currently located, right? And only you can see it. And so this is your local, I'm just going LOC. This is where your site's currently located. And so nobody can see it but you. And so when somebody types in Belfort Flowers or something like that, you want them to see this. Well, that requires two parts to work. Okay, part number one is a registered URL. So in this case, it is actually the name registrar where you have the URL, and then the URL has to point to a server. And they are two different things. A lot of times you can actually buy them these days combined, but in this case, we're just gonna put a big S here, and this is your server. So when somebody types in the name of the site, it knows and says, oh, the content you're looking for is at this server. And these are two different costs. And this one is a monthly cost, and this one is a yearly cost. URLs are annual, servers are monthly. So what I did is I opened up a domain name search, and this is my favorite place to do it, is actually Namecheap. A lot of people use GoDaddy, but I'll tell you why I like Namecheap quite a bit more in just a second. And I typed in belfortflowers.info. We're going to buy a .info, an info, because it's cheaper than a .com. I think, and just for the sake of this tutorial series, this will work just fine. So let's search that and see what it gives us. Okay, so it's available, and look, it's $3.88 a year, which is pretty good. I think that's probably about as cheap as you're going to get. Or look, belfortflowers.xyz is only $1 a year right now. That's pretty interesting, huh? It's only $1. Or .online or .club. Yeah, you can really get some cheap sites out there. There's so many now, and they're so inexpensive. So let's actually, you know what? Let's just go with belfortflowers.site. Let's just do that just because. So let's add that to our cart. Okay, so let's go to the checkout. All right, so we have belfortflowers.site, 1 year, and I'm going to turn off the auto renew because I don't think I'll be renewing this when it's over. But it's $1.29 on special right now with an 18-cent ICANN fee. Here's the main thing. See this Who Is guard? Who is actually your information put out publicly about who you are, your phone number, where you live, all that kind of stuff. It's required by the registrars to maintain information of who owns websites, but a Who Is guard stops people from being able to publicly search you. So instead it's obfuscated, and it looks like some Namecheap server, and it says like privatized Who Is and all that. And that's pretty important, and they do it for free. GoDaddy, I think, charges like an additional $10 a year for this. Most services do. And so these guys do it no cost, and that's pretty awesome. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to confirm. I'm not going to get anything else here. No premium DNS or anything. I'm just going to confirm this order and go through an order. I'm going to skip out at the payment details, obviously, but I am just going to order this for literally $1.47, and then we'll have this site registered to us. So I'm going to go ahead and pay for it, and I'll see you guys on the other side. That's over. You're going to have this page here once you've made an account with Namecheap and all that you've ordered. And it's going to have a couple options here. It's going to have right after, it's going to say manage this domain. And that's what we want to do. We want to go to manage. Okay, and inside the management of your domain in Namecheap, it's going to set you up with these screens right here, which it's going to set with this screen right here, which is how you configure your site and where you send it to. You're going to have what's called Nameservers. This is the most important part, and this is where it tells it where to go to find the content or your WordPress site. Because right now, if we go to that website, belfortflowers.site, what it's going to happen is it's just going to say no server because there isn't a server. We don't have it pointing anywhere. At this point, we just have it pointing into whatever basic DNS they have. So what we need to do is we need to actually send it somewhere. And so how do we set this up? Well, what we're going to do is we're actually going to set up a Hostgator baby account. And this is actually where I started when I didn't know anything about sites, because it's pretty inexpensive, it's pretty simple, and it's just a basic shared host. And for people who don't know what that is, a shared host means that there's a server that has a shared space. So there's like 30 or 40 or 50 different websites on that shared server. So you guys all share the bandwidth together. And for somebody who runs a site that's just really small, doesn't get a ton of traffic, this is perfect. If you already are going to get a lot more traffic, then you need to push up to something bigger, like a dedicated VPS or something like that, where it's a standalone server just for you. So in this case, here's what it's going to ask you for. Your domain, and at the beginning it says register a new domain. We don't want to do that. We actually want to go for a already own this domain. And see, they're trying to get you to register a domain on annual plans. I don't know if it'll be any cheaper than Namecheap. Generally, it's not. So, as you know, our site was belfortflowers.site. Okay? And so now it's going to search the results, and it's going to say this is our primary domain, which is what you want. And it's going to try to sell you all this other stuff. We don't want any of that. We want just belfortflowers.site, because that's the site we already bought. The hosting plan, we want to go with a baby package, and we want to go for by default, it's going to say 12 months at $5.95 a month. So it's actually going to be like, 70 or 60 bucks is what it's going to want from you. Yeah, $76. But we're not going to do that. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the billing cycle down to a single month. And then we're going to make sure to go down to additional services, because by default, I think they have this one checked and this one checked. So even if it's 1 year, look at the bill still trying to hit you for $44. So instead, just uncheck all these boxes, because you're not going to use any of this. So now that everything's unchecked, and now that we have a basic site, our monthly server is $12.75. That's a pretty inexpensive monthly server for somebody who just wants to have their own site up and going. So far, what have we spent? Less than $15. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put in my information, pay the $12, and I'll see you guys on the other side. But make sure that you put in your site exactly into here, and then select the baby plan, single month, uncheck everything, and then fill this out. All right, guys, so I went ahead and filled out that whole form and paid the $11, and this is the screen you're going to get right here where it says it's building your account. And what it's going to give you soon is the name servers, and that's really what we need for our Namecheap to get it to point to here. Those name servers are going to end up going in right here, and that's really where we need them. We're going to go over that in just a second once it hands them to us. Okay, so after it all completes and sets up, actually you'll get to this screen and it'll have a hosting over here that you click, and it will show your site. And then it will show this as provisioning, which only takes about 5 minutes, and then it becomes active. And when it's active, you click cPanel, and it takes you here. And now this is the panel where we're going to be doing all of our editing in the next videos when we upload our site and everything. But for now, I just wanted to show that you need your name servers. And the way you do that is you go back to your hosting package and you go to Manage on this panel right here. And it's going to take you to right here, and you need to go to Settings. And down here, you're going to see right here, it's going to show you your name servers. This is how your website we just bought at Namecheap knows where to go. So you need both of these in order to work. You need to take this one and you need to put it back in your Namecheap on your website. You need to go to Custom DNS, put it in the name server 1, go back, grab your secondary name server and post it in the second one, and hit the little check mark. And now your name servers are going to know where to point this site to. So now belfortflowers.site, once this goes through, is going to know, there it is. So now these are your name servers, and it's going to know that it wants to point this domain. It says, okay, where am I supposed to go? Just like that drawing I made. When it says, where am I supposed to go? Somebody types in the name, and the registrar says, oh yeah, here's their server, go here. And then in the server, our cPanel is where we're going to be able to set up all of our website and our WordPress and all that stuff online. So that's pretty much going to wrap us up for part 17 here, where we kind of set up our server and paid for it. Look, it was under $15 to get this all active and on a real website. So in the next part, we're going to probably handle creating a package on our localhost and moving it here and setting that up. And I'll show you how to do that. And then in the following parts, we'll set up an email and hook that in and get this thing to be fully functional as if it was our real website, even though we didn't complete the actual website build itself, because that would have taken significantly more time. That wraps us up, and you don't have to use Hostgator. I just recommend it because it's so easy to set up, and it only takes a minute, and it's pretty inexpensive, and it works pretty good for somebody who's just starting. So comment, like, subscribe, and look forward to the next one where we're going to actually be moving our site out to here to where it's somewhere you can actually visit. So I'll see you guys in part 18.